candid conversations, unfiltered opinions, and humor with Abeg Vex podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Today, we're going to talk about self-improvement, personal improvement, and I have the pleasure of having with me Engineer Juliet Agocha. Welcome. How are you?
I am blessed. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for being here. So, Engineer Juliet, let's talk about self-improvement. Where does one start? Where is that? What brings a person to a place where they're like, you know what? Maybe I need to change something. Maybe I need to learn something, a new skill, a new trade, change my career, redefine myself. So, what is that?
Well, self-improvement is something personal to everybody. It's not one size fits all. But self-improvement is about personal goal.
Mm.
Is when somebody get to a point where you no longer feel comfortable where you are. And you start knowing that there are potentials in you that needs to be out there or needs to be developed. So self-improvement is something that every one of us need to utilize because we are not supposed to be comfortable in one place, regardless of where we are in our journey of life. We always strive to learn more or learn more or, utilize our resources and give out knowledge as much as possible. So self-improvement is a personal race and a personal journey that each and every one of us need to do.
Okay. So, when it comes to self improvement, some people struggle because they feel either stuck or they don't know where to go, how to go about improving either themselves when it comes to career or just doing something else. What should a person look for as an indicator that okay, it's time to make a change?
Journey of life is different for everyone,
Right.
which means that success is different for everybody. So what I see as success may not be what you see as success. There are people that what they define as being successful is they have a good family,
Mm-hmm.
they have children, husband, wife. So to them, that is their own definition of success. There are people, others, they define success as wealth when you are wealthy. And I have also seen people who define success as being in a healthy relationship. So to every one of us, success means something different for us. Now, when someone gets to a place where they know there is potential in them that have not been tapped, that is when they become mentally uncomfortable, knowing that there is more to me. I can offer more. It's like somebody who has been in a company for, let's say, 10 years, and suddenly you start feeling like, you know what? I think I deserve more. So it always starts with the mind. So once your mind starts telling you that you can do this, all the can't start replacing with can, it's time for you to go to another level.
Okay. So let's talk about careers and success, right? I think success looks different for everybody in every culture, in every tradition, and every country very differently, right? Okay. So I'm going to speak from my own background. The Nigerian mindset of success is get an education, get a stable career, secure career, have a family, and all of that stuff. However, I see on that side of things where generationally the definition of success is different for the kids that their parent, right? And there's usually a conflict. So why do you think that is? Where if success and self-actualization and that personal growth is individual and different, why is it that there's still conflict when it comes to parents accepting or talking to their children about what it means to self-actualize and self-improve?
That is a wonderful question. So success means different for everyone. But what is the definition of success on a common ground? What is success? Success is achieving a desired goal. That's what success means. Now, what is that desired goal? The desired goal is different for everyone. And this is where that conflict comes in. And I totally understand what you mean, because we come from a place of culture. And now we have children here in the United States where our culture, where we came from, or how we are raised, is different from this Generation Z right now. Now, I see some conflict sometimes where parents want children to be this and the child want to be this. Now, what we as parents need to understand is, what is the desired goal for that child? Because that's what success is achieving a desired goal for something. Now, if the desired goal for that child, for example, is to become a lawyer, you have to support that child to be a lawyer. It does not matter what you want that child to be. Because what you said now has been a very controversial topic, and I have seen some families where, especially immigrants like us, they came here and there's so much opportunities, but we are kind of stuck in our mentality of, you have to be a medical doctor, you have to be this, you have to be that, you have to be a nurse, you have to be IT. No, let the child be who the child wants to be. And you, the parent, you support the child, guide the child to the desired goal. And that's what success is about.
Mm. So, what do you tell immigrant parents who do not quite understand their children's career path because to them it's not secured? So, all of the careers that you mentioned are secured careers, right? Where, it not only carries a level of recognition in the society, it also carries a level of stability when it comes to income, that the parents understand. But more and more, we're seeing people going into acting, going into being a professional dancer, going into even being a content creator, going into, those non-traditional job roles and titles that the parents may not understand or may feel like, oh, it's just a phase, or it's flimsy, or it's not secure. So what has to happen in that relationship so that everybody can be on the same page about what the common goal is, and also everybody can feel like they're being loved and supported through that process?
Absolutely. My recommendation and my professional advice is, every parent should support their child in their desired career. And I totally understand the controversy and how difficult and challenging that could be, especially like you mentioned, immigrant parents. But one thing we have to understand is, time have passed where we can now say this career will not lead you to anywhere. And I will use myself as an example. I remember about 15 years ago when I wanted to be in IT. Now, I came from a background where my siblings are in medical field and pilot, in something very amazing. They're doing something great. But look at me here saying I want to go into IT. That time, IT was not like this. Nobody knows about AI, So it was like I was seen like the black sheep of the family. It was a limited support. Now, I'm grateful for the people who supported me that time. But look at IT today. Technology have dominated. Innovation is everywhere. So even people that are in a different field, they are not coming now to IT. But 10, 15 years ago, it was not like that. Now use that to judge 10, 15 years to come, where we will be. Now we live in a society where people are making millions of dollars through TikTok, through YouTube, Instagram. A content creator is making money. This is the era we are now.
Yeah.
So every parent needs to support their child through guidance and through mentorship. It's not something that you have to criticize them, because what you see as a parent and what they see is different.
Yeah.
And is so amazing to see how brilliant these children are. So while we may disagree with their choices, we have to find a common ground where we support their choice and help them to get to that desired goal.
Yeah, beautifully said. So while we are on that topic of generational differences and supporting somebody through a non-traditional career path, let's talk about gender roles, right? Let's talk about genders when it comes to career. When you talk about IT, it's a boys' club, it's a boys' world. Talk about technology, oh, it's a man, engineering, when it comes to encouraging young girls and young boys to get into fields that are not traditionally male or female dominated. Where do you stand on that? I'm asking this question because I do have a student, love him to pieces. He went to school for chemical engineering, petroleum engineering rather, because that's what his father wanted him to do. He's a Nigerian man. And this career has afforded him so much in life. He's lived around the world, right? He's done so much, right? In and out of every continent you can think of, right? But his desire was to be a nurse. And he waited until his father passed away to enroll in nursing school as an adult learner, right? And the fulfillment I see for him, the bravery of having to come back in a second career is something that I applaud a lot of my students. So where do you stand in gender specific career as either a parent or society sees it?
Yes, when it comes to gender career, I will be very blunt to say that you can do anything that you put your mind to do. Does not matter if 99.9% are male dominated field. Girl, child listening to me today, you can be the 1% in that place and you will do amazingly more than the 99.9. So I am, as the vice president of the African American Network and Inclusion, because I'm the vice president there, and this is one of the things that we talk about, is never to limit yourself. There is no such thing as you cannot do well on this, you cannot do well on that. If you have 99 students that are male and you are only the one female there, trust and believe me, you will do amazingly. So any girl child listening to us today, I am encouraging you to take the bold step and do what you put your mind to do. The world is going to talk about it. People going to disagree with you. Is not their vision, is not their passion, is not their gift, is you. So whatever that you have been gifted to do, don't let that gender thing scare you away. You will be so surprised that the same people that told you that you cannot do it, when you are on top, they will be the people watching you on CNN. So go for it and be a badass in what you do. That is my advice. So, and every parent listening to us today, and I want to encourage you to support your child, especially we Africans. We immigrant. It have nothing to do with our culture. It has nothing to do with our country or where we are born and all that. It has everything to do with us as an individual. Support your child. Let them understand that the world is not doing them a favor. Let them understand they have a gift that the world need to see. And whether it's male-dominated field or female-dominated field, if they have the passion and that is where their calling is, support your child there.
I love it. That is so great. And for somebody who may feel this is going to age, because people do reinvent themselves, and I applaud those people because it's not easy to be an adult learner. It's not easy to say, you know what, here I am in life. I am not satisfied with where I am. I want something more. So what would you have to say to that generation of people who maybe in their 30s, 40s, 50s, who, maybe were teachers, whatever they were back in their home country, or they're still in home country or wherever they may be in the world. What is your feedback to somebody who might feel like, oh, you know what? I'm too old to reinvent myself. I'm too old to go back to school. I'm too old to, self-improve on any arena.
My advice is the word, and when I say the word, I mean social media, precisely, put a bracket on success. So social media makes you feel that you are too old to pursue a new goal, a new career, to develop. Social media makes some people, I will not even include everybody because not everybody, but social media makes the world now feels that you are behind on success. Now I want to emphasize and correct that norm. That is absolutely false. There is no bracket to success. And what I'm saying is you can be 50 and make it. You can be 30 and succeed. I have seen people who have tried so many things in their 20s, 30s, 40s, failed woefully, and they got to their 60 and they become a millionaire. And I've also seen people who become a millionaire at 30. If you look at the Forbes under 30, you see amazing people, young men and female that are under 30 and they are, doing well. So there is no bracket to success. Wherever you are in your journey, regardless of the level, the stage, you can learn something new. Myself, precisely speaking, I am still learning. So regardless of the wisdom, the knowledge, I am still learning. Life is about learning, but you have to be open. So on a layman's word and a layman's language, there is no bracket to success. If you get to 60 and that is when you wake up and feel uncomfortable where you are, stand up and get started. You never know. So don't let what the world say to scare you. Don't let social media to make you feel that you have passed the age to start new. No, there's no bracket to success.
Absolutely. And one thing that social media also does, it depends on the person. I had a guest yesterday that it was actually a catalyst to her success. However, most people use social media to do comparison, right?
Mhm.
Or get jealous out of the comparison, right? The comparison is going to happen. But at the end of the day, I think it's what people do with that comparison. Because in this case with this guest, she looked at somebody that she went to high school with, a man, and he had all these accolades to his name, and she's like, I went to high school with this person. I don't even have a photo of what this person has. Why am I sitting here and this person has, the name is known all over the world? Why can't I do that? And that was the catalyst for her to get up and say, no, enough is enough. I can do something. I can do it. Whatever it is that I want to do, I can do it. However, some people look at that, we look back in years, people we went to school with, whether secondary school, uni, whatever, we compare those lives. Okay, this person is doing this. And some people don't use that as a catalyst. Rather, some people use that as a point of jealousy. What do you have to say about that?
My advice to anyone that look at social media as a transportation for easy success is you have to understand that nobody posts their failure.
Mm.
Nobody posts their failure on social media. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness, everybody's an overnight success. Nobody talks about the late nights, the sleepless nights, grinding it out.
No, nobody talks about that. Everybody want to talk about how successful they become, but every testimony has a test. People just choose to talk about the money, they don't talk about the test. So social media is a place it has so many amazing things, but anything that has advantage also come with disadvantage, and that's how life is. We cannot run away from that. So nobody posts their failure on social media. Majority of people post their success, and that's brought me to my book, Unseen Victories. Nobody celebrates the journey. People tend to celebrate the end result. So whoever listening to us today and you feel that you are behind in success, or your peers are ahead of you because of the things you see on the post, don't be surprised that some of those things are not real. So it's not everybody that are professional like us. It's not everybody that want to protect their character, their reputation. It's not everybody that want to project realistic image on social media. Some people want a scripted life. And when you fall for the scripted life, you feel that your life is behind. No, your life is not behind. Life is a process. And also, there are people who post actually what they have. Maybe they are flamboyant online, or they choose to live that life. And it has to also be associated with their field, their career lane. So, for example, somebody that do real estate, you don't expect the person to start posting technology. The person is going to post houses. Someone on technology like myself, an engineer, you don't expect me to start posting real estate. Of course, I'm going to be posting something related to technology or something related to my passion. So most times these are all how people want to be projected online, how people want to be looked online. There are people who want to post about their children, about their pets, about their dogs, their cat. That does not mean, for me, that does not have one dog, for me to start buying dogs to post, right? So it's all about the career lane. So you have to be very attentive about how you want the world to see you online. And when people do that, please don't take what you see online to be the person's reality. Some people post something completely different from their life.
It's true. It's true. People hide. Most people don't show their real selves. That's why, when you see people use people as couple goals, and then you find out the scandals, like, oh my God, but they were so happy.
Exactly.
Were they?
Yeah.
Were they really? Or is that what they showed you? That's what they wanted you to see.
Exactly. Nobody posts their failure. Nobody posts their tears. Nobody posts their struggle. People tend to post what attracts their type of audience. Most people are intentional with what they post. And like you said, I have seen people post about marriage and they are barely 5 years into marriage. And you are there saying, oh God, when, oh God, when. And man, you don't know what just went down before they even posted there. And the one thing I found out is anybody who is constantly trying to prove something online actually have their life not figured out in real life.
Yeah.
Successful people are very private.
Yes.
They are very cautious about what they put there. They are very intentional. So when you see somebody who wants to live an open public life, you have to also question what is the motive? What are they proving?
Yeah.
So you have to question what is the motive? What is the mindset behind what they're doing?
Yeah. Very well said. Your book, I want you to talk a little bit about it, The Unseen Victories, because there's a lot behind that. Some people forget to be grateful and celebrate the victories along the way, getting to that big one, right? Everybody's super focused on this is the goal, this is my dream, I want to get to that one. But everything else that happens along the way, the connections we make, that person that gives you a useful advice, that person that lends a hand, that person that did not charge you full price for service, but because they believed in you. How important is it to appreciate that life's journey and celebrate those victories along the way?
Life is a journey. It's not a sprint.
Please say that again. I don't think people understand.
Life is a journey, not a sprint. So, some people think life is a sprint where you box it into 2 weeks and you put everything into 2 weeks, and then you have to, and people in the team and people in Agile understand, life is not a sprint, it's a journey. Unseen Victory is a book that was birthed from life experience. Every single step we take, we may not get to the finish line, but there are some valuable lessons that we learn on the journey that actually equipped us and enlarges and increase our capacity to where we are today.
Yeah.
So when people look at life like, okay, I started this business and it did not work out, but what did you learn from it? Maybe the goal for that business is for you to learn a lesson to take you to the rightful business. So life is a journey, not a sprint. Unseen Victory is celebrate yourself along the way. We are such in a society where everybody want to be successful overnight. But success is not like that. Success takes time. Success takes discipline. There is something called consistency in success. And then you have to invest so much work. Success takes so many sacrifices. People don't talk about this stuff. So when you see someone who is successful today, there are lessons they learn from failure that brought them into the success they are today.
Yep.
Now, Unseen Victory is a book I talked about how you celebrate your journey, how you celebrate the lesson you learn, how you celebrate all the little milestones that you accomplish along the way. You may not receive the physical trophy, but you are a hero. You are important. So let's not be carried away with success. Let's be carried away being human. We are human before even anything comes in. So my book talked about seeing the joy in the journey, embracing the joy in the journey, regardless of where you are in your journey of life. What are you learning from that? The people you meet, the connections you make, the failures, the testimonies, the everything is sum up to be how do you use those things to get to where you are going? And that's what that book is about.
Yeah. And where can we find a copy of this book?
Unseen Victory can be found on Amazon. It's also on Barnes and Nobles, and eBay is Ingram. So it's anywhere that books are sold. So it's available online. Yes.
Very good. Thank you. And you said something about the journey and the failures and all the lessons along the way. When people think about success, they think success is linear. Success is not linear. Success is this. And sometimes this dip is deeper than this up.
Absolutely.
You have to be able to hang on and ride it out because there are things along the way that are designed to knock you off.
Yes.
The trajectory designed. And I mean that to knock you off.
Yes.
You have to be greedy enough to hang on and continue, because at the end of the day, the lessons that you learn, you're not going to repeat it, and you'll be in a better position to mentor somebody. So please, for people who have overnight success, good for you, great. However, it's not the common story, right? There's usually a lot of work, sacrifices made. Blood, sweat, and tears. Maybe not blood, but sweat and tears, yes, definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
That gets people to where they are, okay? So it doesn't feel like you're moving. Just keep tapping. Keep tapping, okay?
Yes.
It's like, okay, I don't see any results. Keep going. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
The victory is right around the corner, I promise you.
Absolutely.
I promise you that. So as we, wrap up our conversation, Juliet, I'd like to talk about your career, how you ended up in engineering, how you're loving it, and what that you're seeing in IT engineering and tech today that wasn't there 10, 15 years ago when you started, especially when it comes to like women getting into that space.
I enjoy what I do. And when you enjoy what you do, it's no longer a job, it becomes a passion. So I enjoy what I do. I love helping people. I love what I contribute to the society, to my community. And I love how I'm using technology to solve real world problems. So it's an amazing field for me. And it gives me the flexibility I need for my life, for my family to balance things up. And not only that, now serving in my community as well as the policy council member is such an opportunity for me to meet great people, to mentor the new generation, to help people get to where they're going career wise. And also as an academic mentor, I find it rewarding to just, the knowledge I have gained all these years, to kind of invest it to other people and let them understand that regardless of the obstacles, challenges of life, you can be anything you put your mind to be. And I also want in sharing my knowledge. I love sharing my knowledge to, just like we are here today. And I love to make people understand that success is a journey, is not a sprint. And life itself is not a straight journey.
Yeah.
But everything you encounter in life is for a reason. It's for either a lesson, is teaching you, or is teaching the other person. So we all have to focus more on being great human beings. And through that, we will always, contribute to the society. So I love my field. I enjoy what I do tremendously.
That's good. Great to hear. And from an educator to another educator, it's always a wonderful feeling when you can help somebody understand or bring somebody into. So your community-based interaction is very admired. So if somebody is listening to us and they absolutely love hearing you speak, they love your messaging, they'd like to hear more from you, work with you, or have you mentor them, how can they reach you?
I am available on my email, and I also have my website. My website is julietagocha.com. I am available on email, info@julietagocha.com. And I am active on LinkedIn, Juliet Agocha. So you can feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to help. And my team, we are very proactive in responding to emails. And somebody will definitely schedule one-on-one with myself. And I am more than grateful to help, individuals, mentorship, one-on-one group mentorship, workshop, webinars. I am definitely available.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. And thank you all of you for listening. This was a great interview. It was one that talks about the line to success. It's never too late. It's never too late. Reinvent yourself. Don't care about the naysayers. The naysayers are going to be there in that front line when you're finished. Like, you did it, right? Get there. We need you to get there so that you can shock some people. Some people deserve to be shocked. So get to where you are. If you're not happy, find something that makes you happy, something that speaks to your soul. When it gets hard, please don't give up. It's part of the process. I can't stress that enough. The people and things that will try to derail you, please focus. Get to where you want to be. We're all cheering you on. You can do it. Thank you so much, Engineer Juliet Agocha. This was great having you here. Grateful that you made time to have this conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And everything about Engineer Juliet is going to be in the show notes, so you don't have to remember to write everything down. You can just click in, get to a LinkedIn, click in, get an email, click in, find her book. All right? So we'll make sure we have everything in the show notes for you. So thank you, everybody. Be good humans. Engineer Juliet said it. I didn't say it. She said it. I'm saying it too. Be good human beings. Take care of yourself. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Abeg Vex podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. It really helps us out. We'd love to hear your thoughts and continue the discussion. So join us on social media or drop us a message. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and keep pushing the boundaries of your world.